What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Your Story. We're here in Fredericksburg, Virginia right now with Tango-Mike, aka Gil, right? Because everyone calls you basically Tango-Mike.
Yeah, they do.
But his real name is Gil. He's got an awesome facility, as you can tell behind us. It's set up pretty badass. I mean, give us a little idea of your vision for this place when you first decided to build it out.
So we started building it out. Of course, I wanted to have something that just had, well, put it like this. I really built it out for my detailers, with my detailers in mind. Clients, of course, as well. But I wanted my team to have a place where there's like, dude, I love coming to work. I love the aesthetics of work. Having worked at my shop, at my house when I started Tango-Mike, where I had a weed eater and a lawnmower in the background in a 2-car garage trying to make it look nice. My thing was like, man, I want to come to work and I want to enjoy it. I want the facilities to look nice, right? So with that said, when you look at Tango-Mike, I think it's a representative of a little bit of each one of us that's here, a little bit of Tank, a little bit of Maria, Nacho, the whole team. And of course, I am a little bougie. So the whole lighting and stuff like that, I wanted the inside to look like the outdoors. I don't know if you look at some of like the movie covers and stuff like that, you'll see like that lamp post. It just gives it a little bit of mystery, a little bit of, I don't know, just an aesthetic that to me, I wanted to bring into the shop. So when I'm taking pictures of the cars or just staging, actually one of the best things that I love coming into work is on Sundays where the team hasn't really gotten here, I'll turn on the lights and I'll see some beautiful cars. And just something as simple as those little lightings that you see in the background, it just juices me up. Turning those lights on, seeing whatever car I have in here, whether it's a Hellcat, a Bentley, or whatever it is, you just see some shiny cars from the girls having to do their work.
Yep.
And it's just amazing.
And it works. Amazing. It works well. I remember, when we walked in here earlier today, I was super impressed. I love graffiti. I want to graffiti the whole top of my bus.
Oh, nice.
So I love graffiti, and you said barbershop vibe too, with the how you have hangers all over the place. So great job to what you've done.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate it. So let's talk about Adventure Brewing, because I want to get into the facility you're in and also the places you're around. But just give a little idea of exactly what this beer is, our drink of choice for the day.
This is the Expedition. Yeah, they have a whole bunch of them. So one of my favorites is the Wicked Nymph. They didn't have it today, but man, that'll put you to sleep really, really, really quick.
Nice. I'm coming back.
But my second choice is the Expedition, which we're having today, man. And it's great having a brewery right next. I mean, think about it. I mean, here we have a nice high-end detail shop. Matter of fact, if we scale it back, next to me is a PDR shop. Behind that is the full-blown paint, body shop, where they do all that. And then we have my other bay, and then right next to that, we have a whole LLC7 cycle. So these are the guys that actually break down the Harleys for us. And when they were doing paint correction or ceramic coat a motorcycle, they'll take the wheels off and do all that stuff for us so that we could do what we do, and then they'll put it back together. So in essence, to me, this is like the perfect little strip, right? Because you have the PDR guys, you have the body shop guys, you have the bike guys, and you have a badass detail shop that just goes all out, right? And then to cap it off, we have a brewery right next door with some fantastic beer, great ambiance, great clients, great people. Man. It's just, man, you can't have a better place.
Yeah, every place that we've met today, because we've basically done the strip and met every owner of the businesses here. And then we got to walk through the brewery, which is pretty cool to see too. He bought it, what do you say, 7 years ago?
Yeah.
Everyone in this facility is just happy. You just get that vibe. Everyone's just stoked to be here in their own facet, and you got experts surrounding you.
Yeah.
So I give you props for picking this place up.
It's a badass place.
Yeah. So let's get back to basically how let's get your childhood growing up. You basically had to detail your dad's truck, right, to get it.
Yeah, who would have known? Who would have known? So when I was young, my dad saw that I love cars and stuff like that. When going into high school, I wanted my own car. Of course, and who doesn't want their own car, right? To get to show off with the girls and stuff like that. From all my siblings, I was the only one that was working hard in my dad's restaurant for the most part. They all had their place. They're gonna watch the video. Hey, I love you guys.
What kind of restaurant was it?
Mexican restaurant. Cool. Obregon's Mexican restaurant. Right? Sure. Badass stuff, dude. The tacos are phenomenal, man. Matter of fact, the pictures, if you go on the Facebook, man, they'll make you drool and stuff like that. Anyway, so working there with my dad and stuff like that, I remember my dad telling me that, hey, if you want to have your own vehicle, I'll give you, and it was a Mazda B2000, little truck is, I'll give it to you. You just got to keep it clean, and I don't want to have to tell you to clean it. Man, that's the only thing he had to say. After that, dude, man, every weekend, man, I was cleaning that truck, man. Whether it's 10 o'clock at night, like my assignment was to clean that truck, because I know my dad was a man of his word. If he said he was going to do something, he was going to do it. I just had to keep my side of the bargain. So I remember we'd get into it where I was like, Dad, yo, you need to learn how to keep this truck clean, man, because you just dirtying up. So we had all that dialogue. Before you know it, when I went into high school my freshman year, he handed me the keys to my truck. And little did I know that little piece so far back in my life would bring me into here and what we got going on now.
And you've had a lot go on in between.
Yeah, a lot. Military, Army, Iraq, you name it, everything in between, working for different agencies, 3-letter agencies and all the other good stuff, doing IT. Matter of fact, I got into IT when there was no Windows or anything like that. It was DOS, MS-DOS, and
Wow.
that's where I launched my career into IT. Built a very successful career, which I'm still working at. Still work for the government 9 to 5, and in my role as a professional IT consultant, and still managing to fold this in. I did not know that my humble beginnings learning how to detail for my own truck would eventually get into where now it's Tango-Mike.
You know, from talking to you the last couple of days, or actually the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot in common from where we started. I started in my mom's garage, 2 bays, same thing, lawnmower in the background. But even the beginning was me and my dad in the garage detailing his car, which got me into it as well. And my mom's a neat freak too, so that kind of helps too. But what life lessons did you learn from your dad, you know, giving you the opportunity that one day to say, hey, keep this truck clean and it's yours?
Man, so my dad is very influential in my life. Huge. Everything from the work ethic. Basically work hard. No one's going to give it to you, right? Type thing. One of the big things that I learned from my dad is just to know how to love the people that you're serving. Bottom line, like he took customer service to a whole other level. Whenever he was going to go see someone or deliver food or anything like that, if and I was talking about being in Laredo, Texas, if he'd go see a certain judge or something like that, he knew their staff personally, right? So even though this one person ordered food for something, he knew the other people that were working, and they would just put a little something extra for them. And then he used his 8-year-old boy to go down there and deliver food and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that I believe one of the things that I know my dad instilled in me is love customer service and go all out for the customers are everything, right? And then from my mom as well, the passion behind, because my mom's a real passionate woman. She could love you like you will not believe, but she get ghetto in a heartbeat. Man. My mom could get ghetto and take out a knife and cut.
It's not the mom you want to see.
No. So the passionate side from my mom, the work ethic, and just going on out and loving people, like really going out your way to make people feel that you're there for them, makes a big difference. And it grew his company with his employees, and I like to think that it's doing the same here for Tango-Mike.
100%. Now, did your mom and dad, do you have any other things other than, you know, the judge, obviously, or any other moments that you remember where love was just, you know, a big part of some experience that happened?
So yeah, it's always been family, especially on my mom's side. Family. No matter what you did good or what you did bad, man, family was just a huge thing. And I believe that that's the core value when it comes to here with Tango-Mike. When you look at the staff, you know, Hannah, Maria, Nacho, you didn't meet some of the other detailers, but, you know, Shane and all that. Each one of us is so much of an individual, but for somehow here, it works. It works very well. Yeah.
Yeah, family, right? And culture. Culture. I mean, when we
Community.
walked in, community, right?
Yeah.
Again, you know, something that I wholeheartedly believe in, because that's probably one of the top things other than customer experience, obviously, but building a culture around, because at the end of the day, you spend so much time with them. You want to make sure that it's a fun environment.
Yeah.
So you got a pretty dominated women power in this place, which you don't see in this industry. Right, at all. And if you do, it's, you know, very rare. It's definitely male dominated. Until we walked in here, we saw the badass women that you got working here. Yeah. So can you kind of expand on how you basically started hiring these women and putting them into into their roles?
Yeah, I actually got my first glance at women detailing by my daughter Selena. So when I first started Tango-Mike and had my own little garage in my house, it was starting to get a little too overwhelming. And I was telling my wife, I was, yo, I need help. Like, I need help. And I didn't know anybody else or anything like that. So I looked at my daughter, said, hey, you want to work for me? I'll give you $20 an hour. Just come work for me. She heard $20 an hour. She was like, yeah. She was 16. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, let's do this. And I was like, all I need you to do is just help me clean the interiors. And I realized that she was like a natural to it. And the thing is, she didn't really like cars like that. She likes old cars, but she's not like a car nut. Like she sees like, oh, Dad, check out that car and like that. But there was just something about her with the brushes. She would just get lost in it, and she would, man, those interiors look incredible, which left me the time so I could do, while she's doing interior and stuff like that. I was working the outside of the car and stuff like that, which helped me push cars out. That was my first glimpse that I saw, like, yo, women are actually really good at this. Really, really good at this. After that, I had a couple Marines that were working for me, and well, as they were working for me, things were working and weren't working at the same time. And then a little girl, Hannah, walked into our life here at Tango-Mike. If I could tell you this story, because Hannah was really, really cocky. I'll tell you, she was cocky as I don't know what. I mean,
did she have her mohawk at the
time?
Yeah,
she had. Matter of fact, when I met Hannah, I met Hannah through her boyfriend. At that time, I was trying to work with some of the rap shops in the local area, and things weren't working out. That I came to a point where I was like, you know what, I just got to be able to offer it in house. So through a friend, they connected me with her boyfriend Shane. Shane has Escott Designs, and he does PPF and raps here at Tango-Mike. So they connected me with him. I heard about his girlfriend doing detailing. I was like, you know what? I'm always looking for detailers. Bring her along. Let me talk to her as well. We were sitting, on purpose, I stood outside the shop when we started talking, when they came and met me at the other shop. And we were out there, we were talking. My whole goal was really to talk to Shane, to show him, and that was actually the red eye that we had here earlier. They were going to PPF, I think it was like 80% of the red eye was going to be PPF, right? So we were looking at that. But he brought his girlfriend along, and I said, oh, so you're the detailer? And she was like, real cocky. She's like, yeah, I'm the detailer, right? I was like, okay. Okay, we still hadn't walked into the building, right, as this little girl's already getting cocky. You saw the way she moves that little hip and stuff like that? So she had a little hip and stuff like that, mohawk going, little skirt and everything like that, looking cute. And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, well, tell me a little bit about your experience. And I think she said something along the lines that, well, I'm just the best detailer in Fredericksburg, right? And I was like, well, last time I checked, I thought we were in the zip code. Yeah, zip code says Fredericksburg here. And she was like, yeah, no. I was like, oh, okay. All right. I was like, okay. So I was like, well, let me stop talking to you. Hey, Shane, why don't we go look at the car inside so we can start looking at if you're going to be able to PPF this car, right? And as soon as I opened the door, that day I remember clearly, I had a Lamborghini Huracan was set up first. We had the red eye, and then we had a Cadillac CTS-V. And that cool, calm, collective little girl that just had all that fire in, just lost it. She's completely geeked out. I think her purse flew one way. She's lost one shoe running to the Lamborghini. She's looking at me and says, I'm home. You're hiring me. I'm home. This is my spot. So after that, yeah, she came on board. And sadly enough, when you talk to Hannah, she really loves detailing. This is something that she's really passionate about. She was trying to work with other local detailers in the local area, and it's, well, good for me, bad for them, but good for me. They didn't take her seriously. While she was trying to get these business owners to help her learn the craft of paint correction and stuff like that, they kind of just stuck her as like, hey, be the vacuum girl or be the front face girl. You got a pretty face, just smile at the customers and do that. But when she came to me, she really wanted to learn how to do it. And I remember her humble beginnings she had her own buffer. It was like I forget what the buffer that has like 3 different buffers, and she had this monstrous thing. I was like, hey, look, just grab that little flex over there. But those flex, those are monsters. You got to know how to handle those. Yep. And the first couple of days, she was like, oh my God, my arms are tired and stuff like that. But as she got used to it, I mean, you'll see every car that's been done in 2020, if you look at our social media, is both Tank and Maria working those cars. Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
So how's it been having 2 women on your staff?
It's been amazing, and we have more. So I think all staff together we're about 7 all together, all female except for Nacho, which the girls so lovingly changed his name to Francesca.
Yeah, it's not Nacho anymore.
Yeah, and it's not Nacho anymore.
No.
It's not Nacho.
Sorry, Nacho.
Nacho. Yeah, but it's been amazing. It's really been amazing. I'll tell you, it's always fun here at the shop, even when it's those grueling hours. If the right song hits, all of a sudden buffers go down and they start dancing and stuff like that. Having detailers or female detailers here at the shop, I think it's exactly what Tango-Mike needs. Yeah. It definitely helped do the culture, build a culture.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So what does Tango-Mike mean? Because I didn't know. We call you Tango-Mike now, aka it's an AKA Gil now, not the other way around.
Right.
So what exactly does Tango-Mike mean? What's the meaning behind it?
Tango-Mike is very near and dear to me. So Tango-Mike alphanumeric is TM, right? So being in the military, whenever we were in patrol and stuff like that, in order for us to understand what the other person on the radios are talking or conveying and stuff like that, oftentimes we use alphanumeric, like we'll say Bravo means Bravo company, or means B company, or Tango-Mike TM stands really for thanks much. So, well, and that reminded me of the time when I was in Iraq, whenever I was talking to other units, or we were doing a patrol, or finishing something, and we had to send out those communication basically to say thank you for the coordinates, thank you for this, thank you for that. We'll say Roger that, Tango-Mike. So that's our way of saying thank you much. So when I started thinking about what I'm going to name my company, I mean, all these different things are coming into mind, and you hear them all, like, shiny cars, or, concierge, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Nothing was really sticking to me until I heard somewhere in the radio, someone said Tango-Mike, and that's actually a book for Army war hero. He wrote a book called Tango-Mike, right? And that just reminded me of, Tango-Mike. I was like, oh man, and I love the Army. I served in the Army for 13 years. And I was like, man, I think that's the perfect name for my company. What better name to give my company than to say thank you much to the customers for trusting me with their vehicles, right? So I pitched the idea around to some of my local colleagues and colleagues from the detailing community. Is like, dude, you're running an Army surplus? What the hell, Tango-Mike? Everything, even from the logo. I remember, I was getting so much pushback, like, dude, no one's gonna connect that to detailing and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I realized, you know what, I'm gonna double down. That's what I feel. That's what I want to do. That's my brand. That's what I'm gonna work. So I said, to hell with it. I know the vision for my company, and I went with it. And damn, now Tango-Mike is a brand. Yeah, it's definitely grown.
And that speaks a lot to just kind of those moments that you have where something's right. Right? You have everybody talking down to you or saying you're not right, you're wrong, or whatever it is, and the next thing you know, you say that feeling inside of you. What are some other moments that you've had since the business, which, might I add, is only 2 years old. So you've built something pretty damn incredible in only 2 years.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah. So, but what are some other experiences that you've had, in the last 2 years where you've kind of felt, hey, this is right. I feel it inside where people are talking down or back at you.
One of the biggest keys. So, to me, Tango-Mike, detailing shiny cars, it's a byproduct of who we are, right? So when I started seeing, when the Marines moved out, the girls moved in, I started seeing that culture change, and man, that excited me. That's when I started like, yo, I got something big here. This isn't just a car wash shop. This isn't just a detail shop. There's so much more to this. And I'm not coming at it in the aspect of like, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm passionate about that, but not coming at it like, you get all these people that talk about, man, I'm gonna do these dreams, and I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna get rich, and we're gonna do that, dude. To me, what really stokes me is when I come in and I see my staff like talking at cars where they're buffing it because they're passionate what they're doing. Is like, yeah, you coming now, and they're looking at that one swirl like, it just. If I could build something that would build that, it gives them a place where they could actually express themselves in the crafts that they're enjoying, that to me, that was one. The second thing would be, and of course, all the detailers say this. They always say this, man, one of the best feeling is when your customers come in and they see that car and it's like, oh my God, yes, that's a great. But man, and the girls will tell you this, for our customers, it's different. When they come pick up their car, it's almost like that's the moment that they become Tango-Mike family. And it's like something that's really near and dear. Even those clients that were a little suspect of having girls. I've had it all. I've had like, oh, those are little girls, Yep. Yeah. But then they come pick up the cars, like, oh my God, the little girls and stuff. Like, start hugging them and stuff like that. So this year was actually my biggest year where I started seeing like, this is a culture that we're building. This is a brand that we're building. This is something bigger than just a detail shop, a slash, or a wrap shop and stuff like that. We are actually building a community with everyone involved. So like I always tell my staff, shiny cars is a byproduct of our customer service, of who we are, of our family. And that's what stokes me out. If I could build a big family, which includes our customers, our show cars, because we have quite a few drivers here that actually go to all these car shows in Maryland, North Carolina, and represent us. So some of the cars actually have a big Tango-Mike logo on it. And they're so geeked and stoked out to doing that. To all my Mopar fans, hey, shout out to you guys. They're one of the biggest supporters here for Tango-Mike, unaffiliates and all these other different Mopar clubs in the area, man. They've just been so good to Tango-Mike, and I appreciate everything that they do. So to me, being able to be that outlet for them is one of the big experiences that I've learned this year. An outlet, in other words, it's bigger than me. It's something for everyone. Yeah.
So what else other than having your culture and your team here? What are some other values that you bring every day to the shop?
Oh, other values is have fun. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't love what we were doing. That bottom line. If we get to a point where it gets too hectic, that right now, if there's a certain project that we stop falling in love with, we just stop where we're at, regroup, come back another day. We want to make sure that when we here, we love every aspect of our job, which means loving each other as a team. Because sometimes that's hard. Yeah, that's hard. You get team members out there that may not be pulling their weight and stuff like that. But I was brought up, especially in the military, man. If I could say this, in the military, we had one of our soldiers, and when I was a platoon sergeant, and we called him "Can't Get Right."
Can't get right?
Yeah, he can't get, cause he just couldn't get things right, man. He was that one, but still, that's your team. Yep. You have to depend on that team to go into harm's way and being able to come out, and we don't leave anyone behind, right? So the same principles here. Yes, you got some really good detailers, and sometimes even the good detailers have bad days. As a business owner, yeah, you want to make sure productivity is going, but to me, the human aspect of it as a business owner, the human aspect of being in business, was understanding that first, my staff, they don't work for me, if I could say it like that. I work for them, yep. Right? And being able, why did I get a little teary, right? Hold on. Yeah, right. What time is it? I still haven't cried. Just show you how much I love my team, right? So yeah, you almost got me.
Oh, I got you.
No, you almost got me. So being able to foster a culture where my own team members will rally behind those that are not doing so good, that's amazing. When you see one team member that just happens to have a bad day, and you'll see Hannah drop her buffer and go sit down with that person for a little while. I mean, yes, I'm like, yo, dude, that project need to get done, but I get it. Any one of the team members. I mean, and that's just amazing to me. That makes it worthwhile. More than the money, man. I mean, of course, everybody wants to make money, but to me, it's all about building that culture, that family that we all could feed off each other, we all could grow with each other, we all tend to each other, and we build something great together. So I know my team often says like, "Hey, Gil, here's where we're at." And it's no, or thank you for what you've done. This is what we've done. I couldn't have done this alone. No way, I could not have done this. And I know that. It took the Hannahs, it took the Shanes, it took the Marias, it took all the younger detailers. They're in the shop. Nacho, Ria, all these other detailers that are here working to build what we have. And again, it's not about shiny cars, it's not about clean cars, it's not about vacuuming, and it's about the culture and the family.
Yeah, and it speaks wonders too. And it's funny, when Michael, you and I were sitting out earlier, he goes, what's the most successful part of a business, or how do you make a business successful? And it shows already in the 2 years you've been here.
Yeah,
it's that team, right?
Yeah, it is.
And I say it every single day. My biggest word I hate is the word employee.
Yeah.
Or employees. I hate seeing that. I hate, when you hire somebody, they're like, oh, I want to be an employee. It's like, no, you're part of this team.
Yeah.
Right? You might just be the captain of the team, but everybody's working together to grow something incredible, which is, shows every single day. And not just in this shop, you got another shop right down the, that we walk right to too.
Yeah.
So it's something that I wish a lot more other companies, and not just E-Town wise, but in general, could understand that once you build that team and once you get to go in and see, that everybody loves each other, and they're still going to fight and bicker, and that's fine, But at the end of the day, that culture and building that family is what it's 100% all about. So one of the coolest things. So for me, I remember when when we started giving paychecks out to the team, you saw them all the cool things that they started to buy. Like, or one guy bought a car, the other guy bought a house. Another guy was able to afford to have another child. Nice. So what are some cool things that you guys have seen your team members buy, with those paychecks that you're happy to give them?
I know for a fact that Hannah and Shane, they're trying to save up to buy their house, to be able to buy their Lamborghini and stuff like that. Maria got her new Kia. She got a new Kia, white Kia. They call it the White Ghost, Space Ghost, something like that. Nacho got his, as soon as he started coming in, he dropped his Ford Focus and stuff like that. Put, what the hell you put on there, Nacho? You put some, coilovers and stuff like that, because we love cars, right? So it's amazing to see how they're growing and what they're doing, not just with their paycheck, but as a family. Man, they get one of the new cars, everybody jumps on that car, we're ceramic coated, do all that together, because we're a family. We want to make sure the cars look glossy, right?
So building the team here, you've done a great job. Let's get back to your time in the military. How old are you when you first went in the Army?
Man, I think it was 19, 20 years old.
Did you go to college at all?
No, I started to, but I was flirting too much with the college students, and my mom said, I'm not going to pay for you.
Man.
We're not going to go that route. Sorry, babe, that was long time ago.
That's great. So you went into the Army. Why did you make that decision?
So at that time, I was previously married. My ex-wife happened to be in the military, so I joined her when she went to Fort Huachuca, Arizona. And when I was there with her, I loved the military life. Like, I was a spouse of a military member, and I just loved it. And I was like, you know what? I think this is what I want to do. I had the opportunity. Now, I remember when I went to MEPS, I was focused that I was going to be a MP, because I want to be MEPS? MEPS is like where the station where they go to take a test, and they tell you, okay, here's what you qualify for, here's what we want you to do. So when I went there, I was like, hey, I want to be a military police. Took my test and stuff like that, and I remember my recruiter being on there, and she was like, oh man, this job's for you, and I'm gonna lock you in. I was like, what is it? And she said 74 Bravo, which is information technology specialist, blah, blah, blah. This is a long title. I was like, what's that? That doesn't sound like a military police. He was like, no, it's better than that. I was like, no, I told you I want to be a military police. And she was like, just sit down, be quiet. I'm locking you in for this. I was like, look, I told you I want to be a military police. If not, I'm leaving. And she looked at me, she was like, just sit down and shut up. She locked that in, and so that was a computer technician. It just had a really fancy word that dude, I'm Mexican. I didn't realize what the information technology, blah, blah, blah specialist. Dude, my little hometown, Laredo, Texas, we don't hear about stuff like that, man.
Were you into computers at the time?
No, man.
She was like,
the DOS was still the big thing in computers, man. So I wasn't that type of geek, dude. I like cars, and I flirted with girls, right? So I didn't have to do anything with computers. But I qualified for it, and she forced me into it. Took that opportunity, went to South Carolina for basic training, came out to Georgia for AIT, and then they shipped me back to Arizona, which that was my first duty station in military intelligence, attached to one of those, being like a computer technician for them. Then from there, it went on to, we went to Korea. And in Korea, Fort Hood, Texas. Matter of fact, met my beautiful wife over there, got divorced before in Arizona, then moved forward, went to Korea, which is an amazing place. And then that's where I met my wife, this sexy young Puerto Rican. Man, I tell you, she had the legs that just, it was absolutely amazing.
There's a story you shared, it was pretty impactful too, where I believe you're setting up some antenna at the top of a mountain. You're a platoon leader at the time.
Yeah. I remember there was this mission, and we were called to try to put like this. When we were in Iraq, our birds, or the helicopters, Kiowas, Apaches, and stuff like that, they would fly through this zone, and when you would get through this zone, it was called like a dead zone. And I remember that time in which the mission for my team was going to be to put a retrans antenna on top of that mountain. So you got to keep in mind what that entails. This is 8 months into the invasion of Iraq. We weren't the invading unit that went into it, but we were the unit that came right behind them to try to stabilize. So at this point, it was crazy. It was those crazy moments in Iraq where everything was just really, really hectic. So the mission entailed us of flying my team or two members of my team or small members of my team in this big old helicopter called a Chinook, and it's the big ones that have the two rotors.
Badass. Yeah.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. So when it came to the Iraqi people that were there, that were opposing the United States or opposing us, it's their terrain, it's their country. They know how to scale these mountains and stuff like that. What they were thinking about us doing was flying our team into this mountaintop and dropping us down slow, a big old helicopter. So if it wasn't going to give you away, I mean, the sound, you see this big old helicopter just lowering a truck with antennas and a team on top of this mountain so it could set up this huge mountain that goes all the way up. If that doesn't give you away, just so that we could have this operation of comms for however long this mission was going to be. So at that time, it was just going to be whoever's on top of that mountain with a retrans truck and a gunship, which is just a small truck, trying to secure the perimeter, trying to hold it down so that the other mission, the bigger mission, can take place. That was tough, man, because you're talking about volunteering people to go into really, really harm's way. I mean, most of us saw that as a suicide mission. Having to select who's going to do it, I mean, that's tough. That's tough. And I recall the team members fighting with each other, like, no, you're not going to go, you're not going to go, or no, you're not going to go. Everybody was volunteering to go because they didn't want the other one or me to be put in harm's way.
Wow.
I remember that. It choked me up.
It's the greatest sacrifice.
Yeah, yeah. And thank God that at the end of the day, we've already selected our two. I said, well, here, I'm going, you're going. And at the end of the day, they canceled that mission. So afterward, we was like, yeah, we had that, man. We won. We got that. We were going to do it. But it was a big sigh of relief because that was one of those big missions. That one that tells you who your team is. It really talks about who you are as a leader. It wasn't one of those things like, I'm not going. There was like, you're not going to go. I'm going to go instead of you type thing. And I believe that that's been influenced, and that's what you see here at Tango-Mike as well with the girls and with the team here.
Wow. So another thing too, once you left the Army, you basically went into consulting for the FBI, which you're currently doing now, and then also running basically Tango-Mike, which is grown exponentially.
Yeah.
I made the same decision where, and I think you're kind of going through the struggle house right now, where I left my comfortable 6-figure job, which I had a ton of passion for and loved it, to go take on this detailing company full time. Kind of what struggles are you going through right now with this transformation?
The struggle is being in a position of having to make that decision. One, where I know that one's feeding the family and it's a comfy job. I mean, it's a stressful job, don't get me wrong. And being able to really pour myself into Tango-Mike. It's definitely comforting knowing that I have a good staff that is holding it down here. But I know that we're getting to the point where Tango-Mike is bringing me out. I'll put it like that. I mean, if the first year we did $55,000 when it was just me in my little garage with my 16-year-old trying to help me out working 1 day a week. The second year came around, 2019, and we did 110,000 with just one shop where we didn't really have the facilities or equipment. And now we're already going into $200,000 this year, and we haven't even reached the full year yet with COVID and all that stuff going on. So I feel Tango-Mike pulling me. It's just that one thing we're getting it. Things actually after talking with you and Mike today, which was huge, and I tell you, and I would lobby to my detailing colleagues out there. If these guys go out or you're watching their videos, dude, listen to them. Listen to the conversations because they're telling you so much. They're telling you so much of their experience and what they're seeing in other detail shops, and it's like gold, man. It's just gold. Just trying to bring it and put it to work into my own shop, right? I believe now, after talking with you too, it's that one big step. It's kind of like the baby eagle where mama's got to kick them off the thing and say, hey, you could fly. You got this. You could fly. You've already done this. it's that big wealth of encouragement that I'm like, you know what, I think we're getting ready for this, right? My key thing that I need to do is make sure that mama, right?
Oh yeah.
She got to be on board, man. Because at the end of the day, if making that transition means putting our lifestyle or our home in jeopardy, then that's something that no one wants to take. No one wants to take. But I know Tango-Mike is good for it. I believe it needs it. And I thank for you and Mike for the encouragement. Just the conversations that you had with me. Just, man, you didn't even know how much you were pouring into me just yesterday, just having dinner, just talking. Just
Appreciate
talking,
that, man.
man. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Well, please make sure you give me a call after you talk to your wife. When you're ready to say, hey, brother, I quit.
Right.
Here I come. Be like, oh, no.
Yeah, I might have to sleep on the couch for a couple of days. But,
That's all right.
I'm
I'll
sure
send you a pillow.
There you go.
I'll get you one of those cooling pillows.
Yeah.
Cool. So, speaking of Michael and Chris and the whole Avens family, they have a massive impact on me in my life, and especially the business side of it too with UrAble. How has UrAble helped you? And talk about kind of what's next for you moving forward.
So the scalability, I mean, and these are like words that you hear a lot, especially if you go into like a SEMA or you go into different, ceramic coating shops and stuff like that. You'll see the CEOs talking about, hey, how can we scale your business and all this other stuff. When I met UrAble, or I saw UrAble, it was through Facebook. I think it was in one of my feeds, and I know me and the staff here were challenged where there's like, Gil, you're killing me. What does this car? We were handling everything via text, because I had my government job. So I was like, man, I need to get organized. And I saw something on Facebook, and I said, what the hell? I gave them a call. I think I linked up with Chris. That day that we were going to do our initial, or she was going to show me what UrAble is about. Yeah, I was so tired from coming out of work. Like I was so exhausted. I was almost like, man, I don't want to sit through this. I don't want to sit through this. And then I was hoping my computer didn't really work, so I could have like, hey, I'm sorry, it's having troubles with my computer. But it worked. It came up. I think we initially did have a little bit of a feed type thing that was going on. But man, I tell you, and I think I was telling Chris, like, hey, I'm a little tired, so excuse me. But then she started talking. And when she started talking to everything that she said, I was like, all I could hear, I was like, yo, that's Tango-Mike. The way she talked about UrAble, the way she just brought it to the fold. And she wasn't pitching it as like, hey, it wasn't like a marketing thing, like, hey, let me take your money and we're great.
Yeah.
No, she was just talking about UrAble with so much passion.
Yeah.
That it reminded me of the girls. And I was like, dude, I need to get that. I need to get that. Now, she was telling me everything about it. I was like, yeah, I need this. Yeah, that could do that. Everything that she was talking about immediately is like light bulbs went off, and like, that's what I need to scale my company. And at that point, I was like, dude, I can't afford not to invest into that and bring that technology into my business. But I didn't. You ever heard of Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie Murphy. So I was a huge Eddie Murphy fan, but when I would go back to school after seeing Raw or something like that, I would mess up the punchlines. Like I was horrible at real horrible at telling the jokes. Where my friends were like, dude, what the hell? So I remember telling Chris, I was like, Chris, I can't regurgitate this to my staff. So I need you to do what you did, but with my staff. And she was okay and stuff like that. And sure enough, I was trying to get the staff excited, and I'm over here telling them about it, and they're like, oh, okay, it sounds good. But I was all over the place, man. I was all, I got the ADHD and stuff like that. So I was all over the place and stuff. But nonetheless, Chris came in, had what do you call it, Chris? It's kind of like an interview type thing where she's talking about UrAble and she's talking to the girls. And I think we had like 5 or 6 girls on the line, and then all of them were geeking out. And when I was seeing that interaction, I was like, dude, this is the thing. Any company that I partner with, whether it's IGL Coatings, Glossit, or Next Level Coatings, or some of the other brands that I use, they got to be Tango-Mike for me from the foundation. Oh, yeah. Every from the core of their leadership, to me, they have to have the same principles. But I'll tell you one thing, from all the other vendors that I have, UrAble to me is Tango-Mike. It's just called a different name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaks to your values big time.
It does. It does. It does. Everything that they do, what Mike does. I mean, y'all coming out here. I mean, this is amazing. This is amazing. I'll tell you one thing, especially with the film crew, man, I appreciate it. I hope y'all like the chow and stuff like that. Everything was good. But I mean, this is next level stuff. And it just goes to show you, they're not just pouring, like, if I could say it like this, I really feel passionate that these trips, you're able to actually pouring into us. And that's just amazing. I mean, that's amazing. That's not common, and it should be.
Well, Gil, thank you to you, the whole Tango-Mike team. You're able, as always, the whole Avens family. We've had an absolute blast, truly have. And you got an incredible team, brother.
I appreciate it.
Incredible family, we should call it.
Amazing.
So thank you. So, as always, guys, thanks to You're Able and the Avens family. Thank you to all of you for watching. Please like and subscribe. As always, keep shining.
Yeah. Tango-Mike. Cheers.